Welcome back, everyone, to the LFC Transfer Room YouTube channel. We're back again with part two of our expert analysis with Mohamed. If you haven't already, be sure to check out his socials in the description. His Twitter will be there, and his football page, Attacking Footy, where you can check out all of his articles and everything football related, which we love to see as Liverpool fans. So we're going to go straight into it. Expert analysis for Feyenoord centre half, Lutsharel Geertruida. So first and foremost, Mohamed, who is he?
Geerturida joined Feyenoord's youth setup in 2012, coming from Sparta, Rotterdam, who is another club based in Rotterdam. He was promoted to the senior squad in 2018 before Arne took over. However, it was under Slot's guidance that he truly became a key player. He's currently 23 years old, turning 24 next July, and although he's still young, he brings a wealth of experience. He competed in all three European competitions with Feyenoord, won 2 titles, obviously, and has earned a call-up to the Dutch national team. He is a right-footed defender, stands 6 feet tall, and is versatile enough to play anywhere across the back four or even as a defensive midfielder. Last season, he split his time between centre-back and right-back, but this season he's been primarily used as a right-back. It's also worth mentioning his solid injury record. Aside from a period in 2020 when he was sidelined to knee surgery, he's been consistently fit and available.
So that's something we love to hear as Liverpool fans. I think Michael Edwards in particular, he has a tendency to gravitate towards versatile players. You look at Joel Gomez, he can play across the back four, centre back, right back, left back, and obviously the other centre back position. Wijnaldum, you can play in attacking position, which Klopp didn't use him there for. He could play that defensive midfield role, which again Klopp didn't really use him there. But mainly central midfield. Naby Keita was another one who, when we did sign him, he could have played attacking midfield, defensive midfield, central midfield. Sadio Mane, another one, came in as a right winger, went to left wing. So it's interesting to hear, but I can't imagine he'll be getting too much game time at right back with Alexander-Arnold there. But I think we can appreciate someone who could play many positions and maybe even break into our first 11. But moving on to the next question, we've got what style of defender is he? We've got Joel Matip, who's currently running out of contract at the end of the season. Obviously, not expected to renew it, given how poor his injury record is. It's a shame, obviously. I'd personally class him as a legend of Liverpool Football Club, but one of the sort of underappreciated or underrated players, certainly in Klopp's time here. You got Konate and Kwanzaa, all three of those in that bracket. They love carrying the ball forward. They love playing that pass. They just play with freedom. Would you say Geertruida is a very similar sort of defender, or would you say he's more of the Ruben Dias style of defender?
I'd say Geertruida has some traits from several players. Like he ranks fourth in the Eredivisie for most passes received, which shows his knack for finding the right space and making himself available for a pass. Much like what Joe Gomez did this season when he played as an inverted fullback from the left-hand side. Now, when it comes to his defensive stats, they might not look impressive because he has an average of just 1.47 tackles per 90 minutes. But if you think about it, Van Dijk's stats are also modest, with only about 1.10 tackles per 90 minutes. And their interception numbers are also close. Geertruida has 1.1 interception per 90, while Van Dijk's has 1.2. Does this mean that they are bad defenders? Absolutely not. Van Dijk, as we know, is one of the best centre backs in the league. Now, their numbers are modest because of their defensive style or because of how they like to defend. Like Van Dijk, Geertruida doesn't rush into tackles. He prefers to jockey opponents in cover space, utilizing more patient or maybe passive approach to defending. That's why he only committed 16 fouls this season and has just 2 yellow cards. Also, defenders and position-based sides do not get into many duels because their teams have the ball all the time. So, yeah, that explains his low defensive actions stats.
So you mentioned there his stats aren't overly impressive for a centre half when you're comparing it to other defenders. But then you also bring up that example. Virgil van Dijk doesn't have the highest number of tackles in the world. And I think it's a point that was brought up before. Why is Titus Bramble got more tackles than Virgil van Dijk? Well, it's because his team had to do a lot more defending than Liverpool do. So maybe the same could be said for him. But more specifically on Geertruida, would you say he's a Liverpool centre half, a typical Liverpool centre half? You already mentioned he's more of a reserved one. I've compared him to I've mentioned Konate, Matip, and Kwanzaa. Those guys tend to be a bit more involved and a bit more physical than I'd say Virgil van Dijk does. Perhaps I'm wrong in saying that, and Van Dijk seems to be the reserved one. So would you say he fits into that Liverpool style?
If Liverpool were to consider signing him primarily as a centre back, then yes, I think that he has what it takes to play for Liverpool. See, he can play in a high defensive line. He is press resistant and he knows how to shield and maneuver the ball under pressure. He is also capable of advancing the play with forward passes, though he could still improve his long passing, which, by the way, it has already improved compared to Slot's first season with Feyenoord. Now, with Konate often injured, Jalal Kwanzaa is still young and developing, Matip obviously leaving. I think that signing a centre back is a must for Liverpool this summer. Now, if they were going to target him as a right back, now I don't know about that because obviously you have Trent Alexander-Arnold. There's also Conor Bradley, who is a huge talent. He is one of my favorite Liverpool players to watch, honestly. And he offers something completely different to what Trent or maybe Geerturida would offer if he joins Liverpool. So yeah, as a centre back, I think that he has what it takes to play for Liverpool. He definitely has.
Definitely. Well, that's interesting as well. So, would you say we've been talking about him potentially fitting into Liverpool? How vital has he actually been though for this final defense? It's one of the highly rated ones amongst Europe. I remember seeing a Squawker thread the other day where they're posting the defensive stats from teams in the top 5 leagues, and Feyenoord were right up there alongside Arsenal, and a lot of Premier League or Liverpool fans can appreciate how solid defensively Arsenal have been this season.
I'd say that he's been extremely important for Feyenoord and for Slot, especially when in position. See, Geertruida's positional flexibility and his knack for occupying the right spaces are central to Slot's setup. When he inverts from right back, he not only opens up passing lanes, but also helps in linking up play and resisting pressure. See, there's this dynamic of the right-sided triangle in Feyenoord's setup between the right centre back, the right back, and the pivot that is essential in building up play and progressing the play. And Geertruida can play all those 3 positions. So during the actual game, you can find him at centre back, at right back, at the pivot. These rotations help disrupt the opponent's pressing line, and so Feyenoord can easily get the ball out from the back. Now, there's another interesting thing that he can also bomb forward, whether it's on the right hand side when the winger tucks inside, he becomes the right winger. He also can bomb forward in central areas, like there's this goal they scored recently against Go Ahead Eagles, where he spotted the space in the middle of the pitch and just made the run to then receive the ball at the edge of the box, flick it with his heels, and provide the assist for the first goal. So yeah, he's been extremely important to the way Slot wanted to build up from the back and progress the ball up the pitch.
So as you mentioned in the previous questions, he's clearly a versatile player. Is it just centre back, right back, left back? He plays. You mentioned he plays specifically at right back and centre back for last season for Feyenoord. But what about that left back position? Is he solid there as well, or in any other positions?
Yeah, as I said, Geertruida's versatility allows him to shift between playing as a right centre back, a right back, and even pivot during games. He even started matches in those positions, like against Lazio in the Champions League. He played as a centre back. Then the next week you'll find him at the right back. Recently, he even played as a left back when Hartman, Feyenoord's left back, was injured. So yeah, this flexibility enables him to cover multiple roles effectively and adapt to different tactical needs, just like that.
Now that's good. As I mentioned before, we love sort of players who are versatile. We already had them enough with our forwards. I think Diogo Jota sort of is the sort of peak of that, where you can play right wing, you can play left wing, you can play up front as well. Obviously, to an extent, you can play right wing. But moving on, we talk about players' positives all the time, and it's all well and good talking about their positives. I think you could just watch highlights and you'll see positives all the time from players. I think if you watch the highlights of Giroud, he'll look like, why didn't this guy win a Ballon d'Or with the goals he was scoring and the quality of goals he was
Jesse
scoring?
Lingard too.
Exactly. So you can always talk about the positives, but are there any significant weaknesses in his game, or are there anything you think he could possibly improve on if he were to join Liverpool?
Now, I said earlier that his defending style is kind of passive, which somewhat resembles Van Dijk's approach. However, at times, it seems like Geertruida's lack of not courage but assertiveness to step up and challenge the forwards. Like, this gives the opponents complete control of the situations, because sometimes when he's at right back, he gives the wingers much more time than required on the ball. Now, also, despite his build and physicality, which should give him advantage in the air, his aerial game still needs to be improved. Now, he's been playing at right back this season, so he mostly contested aerial duels against wingers. Still, his success rate is just at 63.9. Now, this could stem from his passive defensive style, as he often seems hesitant about when to engage. Also, his timing and positioning before engaging in aerial duels, I think, needs to be improved.
Final question of this expert analysis. So just before we do ask the final question, remember, be sure to like this video, subscribe to LAFC Transfer Room YouTube channel with notifications on. Be sure you're never going to miss an upload. There's amazing content and videos like this with our expert analysis with Mohamed. And likewise, be sure to check his social medias out. We're going to be adding those to the description as well for you to just press the button and press that follow button. So final question of the day. How likely is this transfer to happen? And if it were to happen, what kind of transfer fee would Liverpool be looking at paying?
See, after RB Leipzig sold Gvardiol to City last summer, they aim to replace him with Geertruida and offered Feyenoord 30 million euros plus bonuses. This bid, had it been accepted, would have set a record for the highest transfer fee received by Feyenoord. However, the club obviously declined the offer. This summer, the situation is different, because Geertruida is entering the final year of his contract. So Feyenoord is likely to be more open to negotiations to avoid losing him on a free next year. Now, I think that a bid in the range of 25 or maybe 30 million, like Leipzig's, might be sufficient to secure the deal. Now, of course, it depends on whether Liverpool, Edwards, the scouting department, the recruitment department, Arne, obviously, if they all agree that he is the right player or the right profile to include to this Liverpool squad, then I think that the deal is done. See his links with Arne, obviously, and he knows how to use him on the pitch. But also, Liverpool or Edwards wouldn't want to repeat the same mistake Ten Hag did at United when he wanted to basically bring the whole Ajax team with him. So yeah, again, it depends whether the whole structure agrees to bring him or not.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting, that one. I think with when Jurgen Klopp initially arrived from Borussia Dortmund, a lot of Liverpool fans were excited about possibly signing Marco Reus at the time. Obviously, it didn't end up happening. We're what, 9 years later, and it has happened before where players have moved to where their manager has, and it's not worked out for them. I think you can look at Anthony. What did you say? Sorry,
Anthony.
Yeah, I think we said it at the same time. Anthony's the obvious example, costing 100 million euros or 90 million euros, and it's not worked out for him. But then you look at Maurizio Sarri when he joined Chelsea. Jorginho, I'd say, to an extent, worked out. He won the Player of the Year award, but which he shouldn't have won, arguably. But I think it's certainly an interesting one. It doesn't necessarily mean when a player joins their old manager or their new manager, they're going to flop. But who knows? Anyways, any Liverpool fans, we're going to be excited by that last answer as well. we know Liverpool don't work on a just here you go, here's money, and you accept the deal. Mark Edwards wants as cheap as possible because Liverpool always work on their sort of sell to buy model, which has been successful to an extent for the past 8-9 years under Jurgen Klopp. And I say to an extent, would have been very successful had Pep Guardiola's Man City not been around, finishing on 97 points and 93 points in second place and not winning and getting to 3 Champions League finals, just winning one of them. So it's been very successful. And with Michael Edwards back, hopefully we can continue that success. Hopefully bring out more bargains. And if you are excited about Geertruida, then he's certainly one to look forward to, I guess, especially considering that price tag. So thank you all for watching. Be sure again to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and be sure to check out Mohamed. His Twitter is going to be in the description, as well as Attacking Footy, a page that he writes articles for. And thank you all for watching, and we will catch you all in the next video or stream.